When I was 15 years old and I was sitting in a classroom with my English teacher, the teacher went all around the room and asked the students what they wanted to be when they were 30 years old. And some people said they wanted to be married, some people said they wanted to be a doctor, other people said they wanted to have a happy life. And I said that I wanted to be retired. That's always been my life goal, and it's something that I worked pretty hard to do, and even beat my target of 30 years old. I was semi-retired by the time I was 27 years old. And I want to share with you in this video just a little bit of my journey up until that point and some more depth in what I'm going to be sharing on this channel. If you haven't already checked out the intro, there's an introduction video right before this one. And in this video, I'm going to be going a little bit more into depth into some of the things that I'm going to share in upcoming videos on this channel. Now, I've got this sense that I was born an entrepreneur. It just was something that naturally kind of came out of me and became a part of my life. When I was only 5 or 6 years old, I was already selling things to my neighbors, and I've got a pretty funny story about that. My brother and I used to steal pretty rocks from someone's feature letterbox, and we would actually smash them open on the pavement and sell them to people that were driving down our street. That's literally where I started. Now, from there onwards, I started many businesses, and right up until the point that I got into high school, I was consulting with technology to both small business owners and to people on my street as well, consumers. And I was helping them, uninstall viruses from their computers and those kind of things. And effectively at 14, 15 years old, I started charging for my time and became completely self-sufficient. Now, part of that's driven by my parents divorcing when I was 8 years old. There was a little bit of a rocky home life going on. And so for me, one of my real drivers was to become self-sufficient so I could look after myself. And from 15 years onwards, I have completely taken care of myself financially without needing support from anyone else. Now, of course, people have helped me along the way, and I've had plenty of help from my parents on nurturing and business skills and support as I've gone along. But on the money side of things, I haven't been given any handouts. Now, as I grew up through high school, I was building my business, and most of my energy was on making money and continuing to grow what I'd already started. In my last year of high school, I actually had $30,000 of sales in my side gig, side hustle business. And of course, when I finished school, I decided not to go to university and instead jump straight into business. Now, I was pretty lucky that a client of mine actually offered me a full-time job to work in a small business. And even though my desire was to jump straight into my own business full-time, I decided to go and work for that customer for a year in a marketing and promotions business and learn how a small business worked. And I'll make a video on exactly what lessons I had working in that business, but suffice to say, it was a pretty fantastic business, a very small team making a lot of money, and I got to learn the ins and outs of running a business. After that, when I turned 20 years old in January, I decided that I was going to found my own business, and I started my own gig. I'd finished my 1-year agreement with that other small business, and I jumped into my own business with technology consulting. Now, by that point, I was both servicing home users and business users and helping them with networks and computers and selling them computers, and anything to do with small business technology, I was an expert at. And within 6 months, I'd hired my first employee, and well, the rest is history. We grew the business and scaled it all along the way. There were ups and downs, and we now got our business, IT Genius, to a very successful company with many businesses that have joined us along the way through acquisitions and growth. That wasn't all easy along the way. Along that road, when I was just starting out, I had to learn how to hire and manage people, and I had to do that the hard way. I'd never gone to business school, and I didn't have a degree in HR or anything like that, so I didn't know how to hire or manage people, and I had to read books and learn through trial and error. Not only that, but I didn't understand how to run the finances of a business, and by the time I turned 23, I was in $350,000 worth of debt. My accountant gave me a call and said to me, "Peter, it's time to wind up the business. The tax department needs $60,000 by the end of this week. Otherwise, we have to put the business into liquidation." Now, I can't tell you in this video exactly how I found the money, but we got there. And by the end of the week, we were able to keep the business alive. But that was a pretty darn strong wake-up call for me. Now, over the next few years, I was not only hit with legal battles, I was sued 3 times. I had business deals go wrong and lost tens of thousands of dollars at a time. I had investments go bad, and I got punched in the face, or it felt like it, multiple times as I was learning how to run a business. I then, over time and with much learning, painful learning, I was able to turn the business around. And along the way, I've invested probably over $500,000 in personal development, in business development, in mentors, in coaches, in masterminds. And I was able to learn how to run and grow and scale a successful business. Now, I'm glad to say I was able to scale the business. I was able to get it profitable. I was able to pay down all of my debt. and the business is now in excess of $5 million of annual revenue. We have over 50 employees in our main business, and it continues to grow. And also along the way, we raised capital, and we've also acquired 10 businesses, and I've also rolled up and sold 3 businesses. Now, this business has become tremendously successful, and it's been something that I've shared little bits and pieces of on our main channel, but I plan to share more about the business journey on this channel here so you can see behind the hood of exactly how we've grown and scaled the business and what my personal lessons have been along the way. Now, my superpower in running a business and running teams is connecting vision to execution. And what that means is looking at where we're going to be 3 to 5 to 10 years in advance in the future and bringing that down to a strategy that's going to work right now. I'm also really great at putting the right people on the right seats of the bus. And what that means is working out or helping someone to work out what they're really, really great at and putting them in the right place in a business. And I found that once that happens, you have a team who can perform at their highest level because they're doing work that really, really gets their juice going and they enjoy doing, and so they're going to perform much better. Now, my desire is to see people shine their brightest, whether they're in my business or outside of my business. I want to see the business owners that we serve to build fulfilling businesses that have life on their terms so they can grow and change and grow successful teams and have a bigger impact in the world. And I also love seeing my team thrive as well. I love leading my team and coaching them and helping them to grow to be the best version of themselves. And if working for my business is a place where they can do that, then that's absolutely awesome. I've hired and managed over 100 people. And so I've got a pretty good idea now of what it takes to get people rowing the boat in the same direction and get everyone humming along nicely and proficiently as a team. Now, we've got some more content on that on our main channel, but I'll also be sharing a little bit of my leadership tips and some of the things that I've learned through leading along the years right here on this channel. Now, a long time ago, I read a book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and I became obsessed with the idea of lifestyle design, setting a goal for how I wanted my life to look and then working towards it. And for me, what that looked like was time freedom, location freedom, and income freedom. I wanted to be able to work when I wanted to work. I wanted to be able to work from any location. And thirdly, I didn't want to have to be reliant on actually putting in hours to receive income. I wanted to create leverage so that I was able to actually have my business work without me and help me to grow as the business grew, but not have to continually put in my time and effort into that business. By the time I turned 27, I semi-retired, meaning I was able to pull my work right down to 1 day a week. And from there, sometimes even half a day a week, the business was able to pay me a multiple 6-figure salary after tax. And from there, I was able to enjoy the time freedom and enjoy the travel freedom. And in that time, I was able to then spend my time working on the other areas of my life that I hadn't quite developed while I put all of my effort into growing a business in my early 20s. Now, I've been a lifelong student of psychology, and I went deep into learning about things like attachment theory and how humans relate. I wanted to understand the question of what does healthy relating look like in work relationships, in intimate relationships, and in all of my relationships in my life, because I wanted to work on healing the relationships with my parents, with my friends, and with intimate partners. I then went on to study Tantra and other spiritual practices and went deep into the journey of embodiment and clearing traumas and learning about everything that made me tick and unpacking those things so that I could become a greater version of a human myself. Then I kind of got the sense that I had my foot in 2 different camps. I, in one sense, I'm a capitalist. I'm really interested in business and making money and, creating a life where I have abundance of wealth. But I also care about the environment, I care about social issues, and I care about the world healing itself. And so I've felt this sense of duality in the way that I've lived my life, in that I have many interests and I'm trying to find harmony between bringing all of them together. This channel, in part, is going to be an exploration of that journey and sharing along the way as I grow and develop in my perspective, running a business, and also running my life. So the essence for me of what I'm planning on sharing here is throughout my life, I've created a life that I desire, and I've created a life that is on my terms. And I'm interested in sharing that with you. I'm interested in sharing through my example of how I've created my life, permission for you to create the life of your dreams. And if watching my videos inspires you, if it interests you, and if it entertains you, awesome, I'm doing my job. If there's something that you're interested to know about my unique perspective and the journey that I've been along, I'd love for you to ask me the question. Drop it in the comments in any one of my videos, and I might choose to answer that question in an upcoming video. Until next time, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe below. If you like this video and you're excited for what's to come, hit the like button, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.